Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. So in preparing for this show, I had no idea what to talk about and it got me thinking, what do people do before they create content? There are a few things that I know. From my days on radio, I know how I prepare to go on air. And some of those practices still apply to creating content every day as a content creator, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who just goes and stands in front of the camera, sits in front of the camera to share content. I have a list in front of me. And I'm going to refer to some important factors that people on the internet think is right. First, I'll share my list. And then please, I encourage you to read the caption for a detailed step-by-step process and also contribute. Share with me some of the steps that you take to prepare yourself to create content, successful content. I know sometimes even thinking about the preparation process seems like work. It will feel so much like pressure, and most times than not will discourage you from even starting at all. Some people say content creation is hard. Now, to my list. Number one is sleep. Sleep is very important, my friends. And this is coming from somebody who sometimes have insomnia, right? Sometimes I struggle to sleep. I'll probably just be on my phone or my computer doing some mundane task and find out that I'm still awake till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. sometimes. But I don't wish that for you. But sleep is very important. Rest your brain, because that's where the juice flows from. That's where all the creativity comes from, all right? So for you to have fresh ideas and innovative content to share, sleep, rest, prioritize your rest. Second thing, in no particular order, please brush your teeth, because it might sound funny, but it helps. If you don't brush your teeth, you would feel dirty inside. Your mouth will still feel sour from the night before. It's important for you to brush your teeth, because somebody who brushes their teeth that is very confident to smile. After brushing your teeth, that's part of good hygiene. I should cap everything under good hygiene. Good hygiene is key for creating content. Good hygiene requires you to brush your teeth, requires you to take a shower. I know some people who don't shower before they create their content, and they just feel like, after all, there's nobody here to perceive my odor. Yeah, nobody can smell it, but you can smell yourself. And trust me, if you have good hygiene and you smell good, you will sound good. If you've brushed your teeth, the way you sound compared to when you haven't brushed will be different. Trust me, I know. When you speak English, even your English will be cleaner when you brush your teeth. That's number 3 or whatever. Good hygiene also requires you to wear great perfume. I know certain people who wear great perfumes, who spray very nice perfume before they go on TV. That's not for you, because there's no way you can smell them through the screen. So it only makes sense for you to wear great perfume, because for me, and I'll speak from a personal experience, when I wear great perfumes and I go for events or I appear on a TV show, it's to make me feel good. There are certain fragrances that you wear, it make you feel like a boss. There are certain fragrances that you wear to make you feel like I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. There are certain fragrances you wear, you feel very sexy. You feel like I'm about to talk to any girl now and they're going to listen to me, whether they like it or not. You don't even need to squint like I'm doing right now. Just spray great perfume and you feel good. That's hygiene. But coming down to the brass tacks of creating content, you need to script. A script is not only to give you the exact words to use, but also to guide you so you don't talk amiss. Most times when you don't script, you're probably going to end up repeating yourself on certain points that you wanted to drop in that video in creating that content. So it's good for you to script, because it acts amongst all things, or above all everything else, as a guide to keep you within the ambit of what you're going to talk about. And then just talk. I am a clear example of an overthinker. My friends know that sometimes I overprocess things, but I'm getting better. That was me in the past. Old things have gone, new things. How did they say it again? Behold, all things have become new. Yeah, that's me. So I'm doing away with a habit, and I want to carry along on that journey to not overthink. Content creators, in fact, creative people most times overthink things. And that's because it's probably coming from a place of, being perfection. It's You see this thing that just happened? That's what happens when you overthink. Because when you come in front of the camera and you just want to talk, sometimes you have to do like multiple takes. See, content creators do so much. They do the most. If you see a great content that looks really nice, clean, sounds good, the person is dropping the right words, the right gems, the right tips, except they've done it all their life. They've probably shown you take 10 or take 15 or take 20. But for the sake of this video, I'm just doing one take. So you see my errors and the clean takes, and I've repeated myself. So that's what script helps you do. And that's why it's good for you not to overthink things. Just come, drop it. If you're lucky enough to have an editor that's patient and knows their stuff, they'll help you cut all the gibberish out and keep the very important details in. And then know your stuff. You can't just come on. These days, everybody and their parents feel like they are an authority on the topic that they are talking about. In fact, you might not know it, but when you go on Instagram Reels and you're watching these videos, randomly, just go on the Explore page and you see some nutrition facts. For those of you who have the penchant of going through Instagram just to check some tips on how to prepare special meals, you see some nonsense people will mix. But because you saw it on Instagram and the quality of the video is nice and the voice sounds good and it's possibly a foreigner, you feel like this thing must be legit. They give you a health tip, you are following. They give you this. My friend, be very careful. Not everything that's put on Instagram is true. Not everything that's posted online is Bible. All right? So as much as possible, you that's trying to create content, that's trying to provide value for the person who's watching you, you need to know what you're talking about. And in knowing, it's not just about knowing it's like, I know what I wrote. No. Like, have knowledge, have understanding. I can decide to talk about this pencil. I won't just come in front of the camera and just start talking about this pencil. I'll first ask myself, if I come into the studio, I'll say, Val, what kind of pencil is this? Guess what's written on it? I don't know if you can see this. It's nice. It's by the way, but it's written. What's written on it is write that shit down. So write what you need to talk about down. Do your research, understand the topic as if you were preparing lesson notes before you get into class. So you can explain it to yourself. It makes sense in your head. Trust me, you're the best critic of yourself. You're the best critic you can ever find. If what you're saying is rubbish, you by yourself, you will know. If you say it and it doesn't make sense to you, don't say, no, I've tried, I beg, I'm tired. No, I don't want to do this thing. My friend, do it again. And don't do it because, practice makes perfect, or rather, you're going to repeat it as many times as possible so you can convince yourself that it's true. No, understand that thing. If it doesn't make sense to you, drop it. Pick another topic that you're very comfortable talking about and that you have knowledge of, because comfort comes from knowledge. Comfort comes from a place of altruism. If you're going to, hone in on a topic, you want to talk about something you know. Don't talk about something you don't know. If you didn't know this thing today, nothing stops you from learning about it and then coming back 2 weeks later when you've become a master of it, or maybe as long as it takes you to learn. So tomorrow I can confidently talk about photography because I've learned. Tomorrow I can confidently talk about information technology because I've learned. Tomorrow I can confidently talk about radio because I've done it for 20 years. So yeah, these are some of my tips.